What's going on, guys? This is Z-Rex, your host over at No Noise Research. Coming at you live, August 19th, 2018. Just wrapping the weekend up here. It is Sunday night here in Texas. I hope y'all's weekend was awesome. Mine was pretty decent. Nothing too crazy, just kind of run-in-the-mill weekend. Also, seems the same with Bitcoin price, just kind of nothing too crazy. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, just kind of like the weekends are boring now for crypto. It's It's like with equities, you can't even trade them on the weekends. I guess maybe the institutional money is... It's a conspiracy. They're locking it up for the weekends and keeping price in tight ranges. It's definitely a conspiracy. Alex Jones talks about it all the time. Speaking of that guy getting kicked off, I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says, but him getting kicked off of YouTube and pretty much everything, Spotify, etc., pretty wild. I think Facebook and all those guys are going to, YouTube, they're going to regret that. It's opening up Pandora's box. It's like, man, that's a crazy road to go down, trying to censor one person. Could even end up shooting themselves in the foot, you know. Anyway, let's get on with some crypto news. We've talked about them before and covered them fairly extensively. We've got Square Cash over here is now more popular than Venmo, and this is based on total downloads. As you can see right here, they have downloaded about 33.5 million, which is past Venmo's 32.9 million for the first time. Apparently, just in July alone, they did 3x on Venmo. That's wild. And guys, Venmo is just PayPal. I don't know why everyone loves Venmo. I don't get it. So their marketing was good and they tweeted it enough or something. There's this thing called Cash too. I don't know if y'all remember that. It seems that most people I know have forgotten about Cash. The young and older alike, which is pretty wild. Train those consumers. We've talked about Square's insane performance since its not ICO, back in 2015. It has been up about 726%. Whew. Big ass run. We recently talked about it too. I'm just going to briefly mention it. You can trade Bitcoin in... Oh crap, that's not what I wanted to do. You can trade Bitcoin in all 50 states. That was recently that they did that. That's pretty awesome. And Jack Dorsey, which is also the Twitter CEO, he co-founded Square. He says, or he believes the internet will adopt a single currency within a decade, and that this currency will be Bitcoin. Cash. No, I'm just kidding. Bitcoin. Might be Ripple too, I don't know. Now, he's been a really big proponent of Bitcoin vocally for quite a while now. He knows what's up, and clearly, not just with Bitcoin, but in the merchant processing space too, having their rates pegged at 2.75% for swiped transactions. I have used them for businesses. It is good. It works good. It's always the same. Now you can have a Cash App with it, plus you can buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin on there. Pretty sweet. All right. Keep an eye on Square. Uber's largest shareholder, Softbank. No, every time they mention Softbank, they have to put that in their Ubers. Uber something. Lyft is better anyway, but they're not as cool. Uber's like, I think Elon Musk created it, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so Softbank is saying no deal. No deal with Bitmain in their IPO out of Hong Kong. We talked about it a few days ago. Again, oh guys, this happens a lot in this baby crypto space. People flip-flop all the time. It's like, oh, we're doing this, we're adding these coins like Coinbase did, or like there's like a endless list of retractions and then like putting them back, and then they were actually legit, and it's just kind of this back and forth flip-flop action is getting rather annoying. But, you know, I guess in a new space, that is what it is. So, but apparently a spokesperson from Softbank said neither the Softbank Group Corp nor the Softbank Vision Fund were in any way involved in the deal. So, the larger bank, Tencent, has denied or confirmed. They pretty much refused to comment. Bitmain also refused to comment on the matters. So I don't know, kind of weird, but not really that shocking. We just kind of have to wait and see what happens. Like, because they can pretty much BS on both sides until an X amount of time, and who knows how far along they are in this process. So, of course, a lot of people are smashing on Bitmain a little bit. Here's a quote from Samson Mao saying, "Why is Bitmain raising capital so fast and only showing the first quarter results to pre-IPO investors? We're well into Q3 now. The reason is Q2 was a disaster. Bitmain is sitting on a massive 1.24 billion USD in inventory, and S9 prices dropped by 85%. Their losses range in the $600 to $700 million area." And that's off of his speculation. I can't imagine that. Yeah, so if the Bitmain, that is correct that the S9s have dropped by a lot, but considering they're the ones that made them, I don't know what price he used for that. Like, you certainly could not use retail for that if they're just sitting on this inventory. Now, I'm assuming that they're mining with these. If these are just something sitting on the shelf, then yeah, that is definitely a big problem. Like, if this is just static inventory chilling, yeah, then this guy is probably correct, and that is a big issue. But let's just see how it plays out. Sit here and speculate a lot. Hell, BitConnect was a scam for a while, and everyone said it wasn't. It took a while for that to play out, and then it was really bad. When did it go down? Like all of its percent in a few days. That was scary. Most people knew that was going to happen, though. All right. Maduro over in Venezuela. We've been talking about the Petro a little bit here and there over the last week and a half or two. It does go live tomorrow. So on Friday, he came out and announced a peg, which is not always the best thing to do. It's hard to just peg a price of something when there's so many other layers economically to that situation. You know, it just doesn't really help. Free markets are always the best. But if y'all don't know what the Petro is, it's pretty much making a cryptocurrency for, like, backed by the reserves of oil and different resources that Venezuela has, which is a lot. They do have one of the largest, actually it might be the largest, I think it is the largest oil reserve in the world. So, you know, that's pretty important, especially if you're over here in America. You know how much we use energy over here. We are hogs in that realm, also food too, but I digress. So the Petro raised, I think it was like 2 billion. It was fast. I think it raised like $500 million in the first day or two of the sale. I've talked about this in a couple of the other videos. I think this is a really awesome thing. I don't think people are talking about this in the right light. You know, they're like, oh, it's messed up down there. Inflation's crazy. It's cost, you know, millions of bolivar to buy things. IMF says it's going to be 1,000,000% by the end of the year. It very likely could be, etc., etc. But there hasn't been a country in the world that, like Venezuela, that made a cryptocurrency backed on kind of, you know, its reserves economically. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a really big pilot for cryptocurrencies. Now, was it kind of crazy they made it on top of XEM? Maybe. Should have definitely been on Ethereum, the best coin in the world. The Galaxy, actually. Or, I don't know, I think this is a really big test case for the future, and I think we're going to start seeing this a lot, too. I think countries are just going to be like, well, Venezuela did this, and it helped them. Maybe it won't help them, but let's just, if it does give them the tools to do it. Because a lot of these countries, guys, they're messed up because of the dollar. I mean, most commodities are priced in dollars, so if the dollar gets too crazy and expensive, you know, it's not good. It's like there were these pegs. Like, since everything's pegged on the USD, or most things are pegged on the USD, especially energy related, you know, that doesn't make a real free market. Now that is changing drastically. We have Russia and China have been doing business and settling in gold and yuan, clearing like energy and oil payments for that, so that's pretty cool. And you know something, the US doesn't like it and doesn't want to lose any of their reign. I didn't know this until researching a little bit, but President Donald Trump in March signed an executive order barring any US-based financial transactions involving the Petro, saying that it was a scam. And I knew that he had like said that you shouldn't. I didn't know it was an executive order. And there's more stuff in there. It's not just about Venezuela in that executive order either. It talks about just using digital tokens to invest in other countries outside of the United States. It's kind of more vague than just Venezuela, but so that's kind of interesting. And he says a couple of things in here that I think are valid. Everyone, like I said, I don't think this is in the right light. Our media is very biased. You know, no one really wants to talk about that kind of dollar stranglehold that the United States has on most economies on the planet. He argues that he is a victim of a Washington-led economic war designed to sabotage his administration through sanctions and price gouging. He has vowed that the Petro will abolish the tyranny of the dollar and lead to an economic rebirth in Venezuela, home of the world's biggest crude reserves. Oh yeah, there you go. So that is true to lots of countries around the world. When we issue debt to them and get them kind of entrapped in it, and with interest payments out the wazoo, and then peg certain things to the dollar, and then if you believe banks can manipulate the dollar price, then they are by default directly manipulating the economies of pretty much anywhere in the world. Pick one. So I think people need to think about that a little bit more. There's some food for thought. It goes a little deeper, and then the economists, though, good old economists, you know, they're super smart guys, however, point to Venezuela's strict currency controls, botched nationalizations, and excessive money creation as the root causes of its economic crisis. Well, it's interesting because the United States has extremely strict currency controls. And the botched nationalizations, yeah, probably, but we could just skip that one and go to excessive money creation. That's weird. I wonder if the U.S. has ever printed a lot of money before. I don't think so. Oh, no. Yeah, they did. They did. All those TARP bailouts and quantitative easings. 1, 2, 3 to 500. Oh, wait, forever. Yeah, so calling the kettle black there, huh? I don't know. This is kind of silly. Like, there's something beneath the surface, right? It's like, oh, yeah, we do that, but you can't do that. That's why y'all are in economic crisis. Y'all did it too much, more than we did. Y'all did it on a bigger scale. I do agree with that. And then the opposition, of course, says that, you know, it's him doing it. But if he has to defend certain things from, I mean, oil, when they spiraled out of control, was at over $100 a barrel. And if you get lots of debt issued around those prices in oil and all these other things, and then oil tanks, I mean, we're down at 65 bucks or so, and as low as 28 fairly recently. That's pretty wild. So on Friday, early this weekend, he said one Petro would be 60 bucks and have the equivalent of 360 million bolivars. That's right, guys. That's how fast inflation works. Hyperinflation. And again, check out some of those other videos I did. I timestamp all of them so you can navigate them quickly. But I also talk about a little bit more in depth of Zimbabwe and Weimar Republic and Germany, which are the... Weimar is definitely the hyperinflation example, especially in modern history. Pretty wild that we've got two already hyperinflations in 1 decade. Yes, that's right, 2 in a decade. So go check out the other video. I talk about that more there. They said they've dollarized our prices. I'm petrolarizing salaries and petrolarizing prices. We're going to convert the petro into a reference that pegs the entire economy's movements. Dude, this would be cool if it works. I'm excited to follow this. I really am. This is a really big deal, and it's not, like I said, in the right light. It's mostly just kind of like, oh, crazy Venezuela, their economy sucks. They shitty, stupid country. It's like, no, it's way deeper than that. Well, reading too much American MSM, mainstream media, that stuff is death. And you're like, well, this is on Reuters. Well, yeah, it is, but it's not like, it's not that headline, just believe everything you read kind of thing. And it's not, Reuters is at least not like the main, I guess, 3 or 5 Fox, CNBCs, you know, or CNNs. Gosh, they got really bad. What's really interesting to follow up, or to go a little deeper on this, is like Bitfinex, the US banned it. Like, oh, Trump says you can't invest in that, it's dangerous. Okay. Go buy Facebook at, you know, $180 or $200, so that's a great deal. Or Tesla at like $350 or $400 or whatever it is, or any of these crazy overvalued companies. But yeah, so Bitfinex, which doesn't even do business here in the United States, and they banned it too. It's a cryptocurrency backed by oil. We see it having limited utility. Could be construed as an attempt to circumvent legitimate sanctions against the gov. Like, what the hell does Bitfinex care about that? Why are they jumping on the board too? And then they're even like, the restriction extends to all customers of the platform, including U.S. persons. Well, no one uses that. Are y'all getting mad, Bitfinex, at people VPN from all over the world to get around sanctions too, right? And rules, like, jeez, the hypocrisy in, like, the hypocrisy everywhere in different limelights right now is just, it's just unbelievable. I can't believe that it just works so well still. Even furthermore, all contractors and employees of Bitfinex, wherever they're situated on the globe, are prohibited from transacting in the PTR. Like, what? Doesn't Bitfinex allow you to trade ETH? How many scams have been put on ETH? Yeah, I think at least 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, get the hell out of here, Bitfinex. What kind of crap is that? Alright, let's just jump into some markets. Here we go. Oh yeah, maybe. Big white screen. That's probably not going to help. gonna do a little refresh while it's refreshing again. If you like this, sub, bell, and smash. And I have some, if you trade or want to get into trading or futures, I have some links in the bottom. You can check them out. It helps out. That'd be cool. Doesn't cost you anything. Unresponsive page, huh? Alright. Well, I guess we're just gonna wait. Or they're about to lose. We're gonna have to go to CoinMarketCap. No. This is not near as cool of a site. Except for this graph. This is the only thing that I really like here. Is the dominance percentage. But yeah. Sub. Bell. Smash. Alright, here we go. I guess my internet's getting a little funky. Bear with me for a second. I'm not dropping any frames, so that's a good sign. I don't know what that's from. Yeah, we'll just talk about this since it's pulled up. Bitcoin dominance still holding above 50%. In short, I've talked about this too in other videos. Feel free to go get a more in-depth and detailed explanation of this. But in short, I think that a lot of the ICO and big smart money, institutional money, has been dumping ICOs and dumping all the shit projects and getting into Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum in the top 5, but really mostly Bitcoin, because as I've spoken detail about, that Bitcoin will have to rise above the ashes to get all these other ICOs going and everything else. So it's going, the big run's going to start there. It's not going to start in Ripple or Ethereum or Tron or Monero or, oh, I mean, it's going to be Bitcoin Cash for sure. No, it's not going to be. It's going to be Bitcoin, all right? So it would make sense. There's people been studying these, like the flows. Like, think of it as like sector rotations in traditional markets. So when certain policies or even administrations, whether it would be right or left, or certain things happen in markets, money will rotate into different sectors. And I feel like this is just that in this new sector, that money's going to rotate into the Bitcoin sector, or just its ecosystem, to boost everything back up a little bit, and everything will kind of follow, sell off, raise up all the other coins. That's just the shortest I can make that. But if you want to, like I said, I timestamp all the videos. Go back, check out my more detailed explanation of that. Here we go. Here's the total market cap. Oh no, we don't want to look at that one. That doesn't have BTC in it, man. Definitely need that. Alright, here we go. So again, we're still struggling around this area, that 250 or 225 area, I'm sorry. That's where we kind of need to get. It looks like we're probably getting to make a run towards it. It's kind of my gut feeling here. Let's see some of the top movers. Let me try one more time to do coin checkup, because it's just so much better. There we go. Cool. This is a better looking website too. Way better data. Y'all should use it if you don't already. So Ripple's been real strong over the last week. Everything has kind of turned green the last day. It was kind of neutral yesterday, so that's good. You got VeChain up, Ontology up. Those have been showing some love. Oh, Nano's doing a nice little pop over the last day. But yeah, so lots of green. So your portfolio looks pretty good. You're probably kind of excited, a little happier than you have been lately. Let's go look at Bitcoin Mama. Big screen. Boom, look at that. Remembered. All right. So, still in this box. You're probably getting tired of me telling you. I might be getting tired of telling you. Nah, I'm just kidding. I look at these charts every day, all the time. Way too much, probably. But this is looking pretty healthy. Let's go to this daily. I do like this. I did say that in a video, actually, this day here, I believe it was this. It might have been before this closed. I can't remember, but anyway, if a daily closed above 65 that we would likely be bullish, and then I adjusted it to now after seeing price action 66 a daily close. This is pretty good though on a daily to have the next one, and we talked about it a little bit in that video that day. As long as we stay in this range of this candle, then it's okay. Below that and it gets real dangerous, and it could get dangerous real fast too. So that's why you can see my alerts over here on the right. That's what these little red arrows are, if you don't know. And you can set up these real easy. You just right click and say add alert, and bam, you can customize it however you want. You also can do that too on different indicators. Like maybe you want an alert on this trend line when it passes above it, just left click it, bam, once per bar, per minute. You can have it do all kinds of stuff. And if you have the top subscription on here as well, you are able to get text alerts, which is really nifty. Anyway, back to the charts. So 63 is a really serious level that needs to hold. My stops on my paper account, on my paper trades, is in the 200s. Okay, man. So we're still battling here. The 21 exponential is providing some pretty decent resistance for us at the moment, so do keep an eye on that. That does line up with about that 6600 level, especially after another couple of days of price action. Speaking of days of price action, I do believe that we need to get this party started very soon, like early this week. Sunday night, so let's say by Tuesday's close, I think we need to be above 66 or it's not going to be good. Unless you want to be bearish. I guess it could be good. It won't be good for bulls. Alright. So, do keep an eye out on that. Let's see if internals have given us any new information. Oh, this is interesting, guys. Trendline crosses are when two major trend lines, or just trend lines, cross somewhere when you draw them. You have that one, and I'm just drawing this new one that we placed just a moment ago. I'm just kind of noticing it ratchet up that, and then like the cross is over here, so it's about mid 7,000s, which has been our target area for the last several days, guys. And that's one thing, you just have to be patient in trading. Sometimes you just gotta wait, man. It doesn't always do these moves like this right here and like this. It's not always that cool. It happens a lot. But a week in crypto, I know, feels like the whole month just went by. I get it. I'm right there with you, but just learn to kind of rein it in. Go jog or something, or go to the bar, have a beer. You know, mix it up. Still kind of the same. Nothing on the daily. Let's go down to the 850. 850, we're about to get over the 50 on the RSI. We are still in battle zone here on DMI, plus and minus, so not really nothing too exciting there. We are about to close. We did technically close right above it, right here on the 850 over the 21, but that is I won't count that. Like I said, 66 on the daily, because that's a long enough time frame. That's about, I think it's about like 15 hours or something like that. You're like, well, how the hell did you get 850? Don't worry about it. No, I'm just kidding. I can't even actually remember. I was messing around with some math and just noticed it was really cool and it worked really good with some of my strategies, and I started using it. Feel free to use it yourself and check it out. See if it helps you. 4 hours really good. I like the 4 hour, but sometimes, you know, it gets a little bit noisy. See, like right here, you get this little extra fake out, this little fake noise on the 850. You got it, but you off closing basis though. See, the candle, the body's closed above and actually allow you to make a trend line. I like to draw trend lines more on closing bodies than wicks. But yeah, you can see on here the 4 really got you. This is where, I guess just a real quick note on this, institutional traders and market makers and stuff, they know where the liquidity pools are and the little liquidity spots, And so they would all kind of be here. Like, what you think, you were the smart one, only one in the world that's like, oh, hey, get long around here and put all your stops here. No, everybody's doing that. We're all watching the same movie, okay? So everyone's getting long right around here and putting their stops right here, okay? It's not unique. And really, they're kind of doing it all here. So it's like, let's say you have stops pretty much like all up in this range are getting plotted, right? Just here and here and here, and blah, blah, blah. So, and they know that. Everybody knows that. It's not... So that's why you have to be a little bit slightly different. So on the 4 hour, that's what this was doing, was shaking some of those people out real quick. Because they knew there's lots of stops just right here. And then you get everybody going short and adding on to short positions. Because they're like, oh, it's going down. It's below 6 on that 4. I told you on the 4 hour, I got to get short. And then everyone's getting stopped out. They got long right here. And then you add all these extra people that want to go short. It creates a lot of liquidity there. And so... and very advantageous liquidity too. So then you can get in there, take advantage of both of the regular psychologies of the traders, and you know, do this big V pattern. It's kind of where those come out of, I think, a lot of times. But anyway, yeah, market makers, just be a little bit different than everybody else, because we are all watching the same movie. Some of my earlier videos, I do talk about that in depth. If y'all want to hear some more about that, leave comments. Leave comments, period, for whatever you want to hear about, literally. Market related, of course. Or you can put whatever down there, you know. It doesn't hurt to try. See what happens. Alright, so on the 4 hour, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. We're holding above 50 right now. We are above the 55 EMA. And still chopping up this line. It's looking all right. We are getting up to the spot where I'd like to see this, the bulls just go ahead and break above mid-20s. They need to do this fast. Like I'm saying, guys, by the end of Tuesday, like this pretty much needs to happen, in my opinion, of course. Otherwise, the bears are going to get kind of thirsty and get a little bit excited. Let's look on the hour, about the lowest time frame I like to go. We are pinging against the longer term moving average here, which is a 377. And these are all EMAs. So you can kind of see that this is providing as pretty formidable resistance thus far. So let's see if we can get above that. The bulls look okay as long as they stay above the hourly. This is good. We want to see that, and we want to see the bears not get back over mid-teens, like the 16 level. All right, and if that doesn't make sense to you, I think one of the next videos I really need to go ahead and put how I use ADX DMI indicator. It's because it's a pretty awesome indicator. I don't really know anyone that uses it either, so I do like that about it as well. Of course, RSI I always have on here because that's tried and true, and a lot of people can relate to it, so it is good for that reason as well. All right, let's go to Ethereum. The ETH. Mr. Vitalik. Rainbow Man. Unicorn Man. All right, same kind of thing. We drew this box on here a few days ago. This is stop zone and also a possible entry zone. Never financial advice. These are my opinions, and this is for educational purposes only. Do what you want with your money. Okay. But I think you should definitely learn how to trade it. Don't give it to some Vanguard fund, and just be responsible for your own stuff, you know? It's better that way. Volatility is still continuing to drop up here. That's a good sign. Bears are still strong though on DMI. We have come up above the 30 on the RSI, so that's an okay signal. Like, internals right now aren't really giving us information on the higher time frames. Let's see, even 4 hour looks okay. The 4 hour looks all right. We are battling right on the 50, very neutral. It'd probably be wise to ratchet up if you did get any of these dips in this potential buy zone and stop out point below the box. If you did get any of that, yeah, maybe tighten it up, see what happens. So nothing really new about Ethereum, kind of same picture. Litecoin, I'm sure, will be the same. Let's go. Yep, looks almost like the exact same chart. Except, again, on the daily, it is looking a little bit better on the internals. So DMI is about to cross below, and they're about to lose their momentum. The bears are. On a daily, I believe, on the 850 they already have. Yeah, they already have for a while, actually, since the 17th. Okay. So, that, I know it's a while. That's so long, right? It's 2 days. It's like 2 quarters in regular markets. No, here you go. You got a nice little trend line kind of forming right here, too. So, keep an eye maybe out on that. I'm still sticking with what I said earlier with about 53-54 bucks. We have a lot of closes on bodies, top, bottom here, and a couple wicks on that 54 area. So that's looking pretty nice. Litecoin is actually showing a little bit of strength here. It was being the laggard too, if y'all remember, a week or so ago with Ethereum, and so now it's kind of picked up, put on its boots a little tighter, strapped them up. It's ready to maybe start getting some real legs. Let's go to the rips. Good old Ripple. I know you love the Ripple. No, a lot of people hate Ripple. I don't know why. It's like it just has its own use case, you know. It's like Swift. But here you go, riding up a nice, pretty. I mean, that's like a good 45-degree line there. Let's see if we can maintain it. It looks like we have gotten right up to the 618 though of this sell-off on a retracement. Yeah, look at that, almost to the dot. So right there. So that is something to be wary of. If we can close above that, which is about 38 cents, that will be very good. And I would like to see that on either the 850 or a daily or a higher time frame. Maybe use a 12-hour. That would be sufficient as well, in my opinion. But banging off this halfback, I don't like that. We need to get definitely up in this range. Okay. So, but Ripple did have a pretty phenomenal move from those lows. So that was pretty smooth. Again, if y'all have any questions or anything like that, please ask them. I will be happy to answer any questions. Let's go to, I wanted to look at the little brother of the Ripple, which will be Stellar. Oh, what do I want to look at it on? Let's do dollar on Bittrex. That'll be good. Actually, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit on Ripple. I'm sorry. I didn't go into the internals on the lower time frames. Let's see. Yeah, their bulls are looking real good. Bears are where they need to be for the bulls to get another leg up. So, if that can be maintained, yeah, it looks they have a good chance maintaining this trend line and getting that longer term close above 38 cents will be real nice. So the internals are supporting that. There's no divergences yet or anything like that, so that's nice. All right, XLM, the Stellar. Get it in. I've always liked some Stellar. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Stellar's saying is they didn't really. Oh man, what is his name? I can't remember his name. It's like Caleb something. Spun off from Ripple because they didn't like some of the stuff they were doing over there. That's cool. Stellar is being adopted by, you know, kind of the other side of the Ripple peeps. Here you go. There's a decent trend line kind of loose there. You can see. You can move it up. You could draw that a couple different ways. Trend lines are very subjective. That's why I like to draw them and kind of back them off. I talk about that sometimes just to, because like I said a minute ago earlier, everybody's watching the same movie, guys. Everybody can see, oh, it's coming down here, like I was talking about with Bitcoin. And it's not, you're not special for that. You can make yourself a little bit different though, and that will give you edge for sure. All right, so let's start on the daily on XLM. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I like it. On the daily too, I didn't notice this. I haven't looked at XLM in like a week or so. You have all the exponential moving averages are still above your long 377. That's a really good sign with this consolidation right here. And your internals are pretty neutral. This is a good sign too. You got the volatility rolling over, so that is nice. Okay, yeah, wow. I like Ripple right here. I'm sorry, Ripple. I like Stellar right here. I do not like versus Ripple, definitely. This would be maybe a good pairs trade. You could buy Stellar and short Ripple. Pairs trading is really awesome. If you haven't done it, you should definitely look into doing it. It's just trading the relationship between the two. And it lowers your risk substantially too. As much as like 80-ish%. So I can talk about that on another video or something, because that's a pretty in-depth topic. Anyway, on the 850, we are looking pretty good right here. We kind of have a little harder advanced trend line, or angled trend line right there. Doesn't really matter. That's pretty damn choppy. Volatility has been sucked out though, so it's quiet. This is getting ready to explode here for sure. So I am definitely adding XLM to my watch list right now. So hey, again, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. Not financial advice, just as what I'm doing. All right, let's look at EOS, because I know EOS is pretty cool. It's a good one. I like it. Man, 525. All right, that's pretty low. Forgot it was under $6. Wow, it touched $4. Jeez, guys. That would have been real ballsy of a buy, though. That would have been tough. Here you go. Kind of not the best pattern. I don't really like this pattern. Let's look at it on 850. It's still looking fairly bearish here. It's trying on the 850, barely getting over the 21-day exponential. Oh, I can't see. Let me put these horizontals here. So the horizontals are 10, around 16, and around mid-20s. All right. I do not like them to be red, though. I want them to where I can barely see it. Sometimes it's easier just to do it this way. If you didn't know too, you can hit control and then grab whatever it is, like click on something you drew, and it'll just copy it. So it makes it real easy if you want to make like multiple things and drag them, or lines or markers, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Control, hold it, click it, and then drag and drop and let go of them both. Nice little trade hack for TradingView, which I actually put those in my timestamps too. If you ever want to do those, and eventually after I have more videos, I'm going to compile them all together and make like little trading hacks and kind of like educational things, because you know it's hard. It took me a long while to learn even how to use charting software and all this stuff. I mean, it's very intimidating when you first pull it up. You show this to any of your average, you know, friends that aren't investors or anything, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this? How do you do this?" That's what I thought when I first saw it too. But I was very intrigued. All right, EOS is looking kind of bearish. Let's see on the 4 hour. 4 hour looks okay. So we are above the 55. If I was going to get into this, and I might, this is traded on BitMEX, by the way, and Bitrex. I'm sorry, Bitfinex. I'm speaking for margin purposes. Careful with margin trading, by the way. General rule of thumb, or back of the hand rule, is usually don't go over about 30% of whatever you're allowed to trade with. That'll keep you having nice cushion to take some swings. Until you kind of get familiar with it, and then when you get disciplined and can get out of positions like really fast or go really big into one, and once it goes in your favor just a little bit, put it into where your stop is like right to where you just break even or don't lose money or make a little bit, or at least pay for commissions and stuff like that. But to start with 30% as a back of the hand rule. So anyway, right here, I might enter a paper position right here, my paper trading account, with a stop right here at this 21. So it's about a 3% risk roughly. And on TradingView, you can do a cool little thing. You do like take profits. Oh, I thought I had it in my quick bar, but I do not. You do like long position, and you can set all this up. So it's really easy. If you do this, it might even help you to where you don't get dumb and make stupid decisions like all traders have. I have made a lot of those. All right, so something like this is what I would be looking for. Like this type of setup. And so you just drag this bottom part to where you want your stop, and that's the red. And as price goes through this, it'll like change colors. See how, oh, right there. See how this is like darker green now? It's because it's like if I technically had bought right here, then I would be this much up in the money. But it also works for the other side, right? So, oh, but not on this one. Sorry, you have to do the other one. You have to go with short position, and it just does this inverted. All right. But for this, right about here, that would look good to me. That's about 3.5% risk, and you are at a almost 5 or 4 to 1. Good stuff. TradingView is awesome. All right, guys, let's go to Bitcoin with final thoughts. So there's not really much to say. We're just in this range. Daily, again, needs to close above 66. 63 is the first kind of, ooh, watch out. If we close below on a daily 62, we are in trouble. And that's pretty much it, guys. With that said, thanks for tuning in and listen to some crypto action. This is No Noise Research with your host, Z-Rex. And I'm signing off for the close of this weekend. And tomorrow we will talk about, I'm working on some different kind of ways to do the show because I keep forgetting to add equities and commodities in here. So like gold and S&P stocks and stuff like that. I want this to be a all-around finance show, not just crypto. I trade a lot of everything, so. With that said, again, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go rest for the evening. And I will talk to you guys mañana. Peace.